Good afternoon. Okay, I'm going to try and cut on time. Our one panelist had to leave for some emergency, so we are running late. I'm going to try to catch up on time. So, very quick preamble. Uh, we did a sustainability session about 2 weeks ago. I'm no sustainability expert, except that in my personal life, I've been engineered by my children to try and be sustainable as far as I can, doing, whether it's water usage, waste, paper wastage, uh, small things. So I don't carry visiting cards and try and just that they've forgotten all about it. But I think what hit me really in the face a couple of weeks ago is when the CSO of a large, electrical product company told me on the panel that, don't bother about sustainability if you don't have kids and grandkids. If you're living for yourself, it's fine. And then a partner from EY, I was talking to him. I've known him for a lifetime. He had worked with me in a previous life. He said, Hoshi, we have consumed uh, as a planet the natural resources that were meant for the entire year until December 31st were consumed by August 15, 2024. Yeah, both for. So he said in 8.5 months we consumed what we were to consume in 12 months, and therefore we are borrowing from our future generations. Okay, now all of a sudden I think COVID has propelled the understanding and need for sustainability. Uh, Governments are mandating it, but I think it begins uh, with each of us. Happy to see a lot of organizations working on it. The idea of doing this panel is that finance leaders are also looking at how to kind of make it happen. In Delhi, when I did this panel, I had a couple of finance leaders on the panel who spoke about returns also on their sustainability practices. The idea here is to just encourage everyone to adopt more sustainability practices. So let's kind of start with you. And since we have limited time, uh, what is the one, instead of two, the one sustainability practice that you all have adopted in your organization and that you're very proud of? And how has it kind of worked?
First of all, I would like to thank the business group for inviting me here, and I'm really happy to be part of this discussion. So there have been multiple sustainability initiatives what Brigade has taken down the years, but to be precise, to talk about one particular sustainability initiative, what we have taken across the organization is that we'll go with the green building certification for all our products. So be it commercial, be it residential, be it retail or hospitality. That is what the practice what Brigade has adopted. So it's been nearly 10 to 12 years we have been into green building certification, predominantly in the core and shell certification for the building. So right now we are about 15 million square feet of green building portfolio what we have in Brigade, and 16 plus 6 plus million square feet of area has been already certified for core and shell, and it's being pretty good. So theoretically we see a lot of benefits from the green building, the certification what we adopt, like 30% of your energy consumption would get reduced, 20 to 25% of water consumption would get reduced, and emissions being a carbon intensive industry, we have to look for the reduction strategies for our carbon emissions as well. So by adopting the green building requirement religiously, but not to only stick on to the rating and the numbers what we anticipate, definitely there will going to be a good return on investment from green building perspective.
Thank you. And I was going to ask you what advantages, what benefits you've seen. You also answered that. So the question to you is, what is that single sustainability practice that you're very proud of and it's worked for you? What are the advantages and benefits that you kind of?
Okay, I'm Pravin Dalal. I'm representing Shahi Exports, one of the leading garment export firm in India. I'm responsible for environmental sustainability in my organization. Yeah, I just before answering the question of what is the best sustainable practice, what we do in implemented at our firm. See, is one of the leading garment exports. We do cater to all the leading brand across the globe, and you all know that what is the brand requirement. Brand, all the product reach to the each and every consumer, and today's consumer is so conscious. So talk about is the brand, is the product is sustainable, but if it is sustainable, how it is sustainable? We all know about climate change, global warming is now has been introduced in the schools and primary schools. All everybody talk about that. So how can brand will be not talking too much on the sustainability, and particularly on the reducing the greenhouse gas emission, and to introducing and delivering the product to the consumer, a carbon neutral product to all their consumer. And even though you see that any brand it get introduced, talk about how I can have sustainable attribute in my product. Because is not the concept of selling the product, is to being a sustainable and creating the brand image of that product. That is the most important. Coming over to that sustainable practice, the most sustainable practice is the implementation of renewable energy at our Shahi. I mean, we have started our own solar renewable power in 2018 itself. That time it was not the greater demand from any brand to have the sustainable attribute into your product. But looking at the global requirement, looking at the future requirement, we wanted to be a two-step ahead from the brands, and that's what we have invested in the solar power plant, 84 megawatt solar power plant, what we installed, having the currently that time 8.75 megawatt wind power mill. And with this, all another sustainable initiatives is not only the introducing the renewable energy, but on the conservation front also, converting all the conventional lighting into the LED light, modernizing machining, getting in the energy efficiency. So all these factors involve and help us to right now today stand with the 70% of electrical renewable energy in the the last financial year. And it's very and then we are aligned with all the brand goals, and today we're proud to say, and the brands are very excited to work with us, looking at the best sustainable attribute what we are delivering to them. In fact, just want to tell you, brand as a own, they are the the very pioneer and then famous all over the globe, but their CO2 emission is only 10 to 15%. What they need to depend to combat the CO2 from the supply chain, and where the Shai like player comes into, play a major role, where brand can, where Shai can help brand to reduce the CO2 emission.
When you say brands, are you referring to the customers for who you're manufacturing globally?
Yes, that's a brand like Nike, Adidas, PVH, Uniqlo, Fast Retailing, Target, Puma. So all the major brands, we name it, we do manufacture for them.
Okay. We'll stay with you. We take the next question to you and then come to you. Uh, there are less than 500 companies in this country who have chief sustainability officers, and we are talking of stepping up sustainability practices hugely. Very often it's kind of written off as, oh, it's one more thing, why should I kind of do it? Whether I now see it in my own personal situation, official situations. Uh, how do you therefore carry several stakeholders across the company above you and below you? Because it's not the job of a CSO or one department to ensure that your practices are sustainable. There are other people and involved with it, and most of them don't believe. I don't want to use the exact word, but recently I was in Bombay speaking to a friend about something, and he said, sorry, ladies, F the planet. What's your problem? And I said, how can you even think like that? I see that attitude very often. Okay. Now, how do you ensure that your entire organization is in line and follows, because it requires a bit of change. You don't see immediate ROI.
Yeah, yeah, yes, very true. It's true. I mean, is the investment decision on the sustainability parts been taken by management? Yes, that's what we are lucky enough. We have got a good visionary management. So I can say it's very 100 out of 100 we can get in the top-down approach. But the another crucial approach is the bottom-up approach, which brings the all sustainability value gets spread across the organization and which can intact whatever there's been effort, investment, the company is doing it gets spread all across, not only limited to the company, but across the company and the community and wherever we get interacted. And that's what helping us, to create the whole atmosphere. And it's not only the creating atmosphere. These initiatives help us in another terms like having the good reputation of the company, creating the brand image, and the most essential and then crucial important part is the talent retention. So we like as I say, if I mean even I am interviewing so many candidates. So I just my basic question is that why you would like to join a Shahi in my department. So say we heard about a lot on sustainability initiative on Shahi, and we learn a lot of things, and we do now need to practice and be into that environment. How we can get it implemented and then learn so many things. So that makes the motivate each and every employee in the company, and but obvious employees get motivated, it gets spread across, and we can develop very energized atmosphere in the company. And of course, it will develop business as well as good revenue generation for a company.
I'll come to that question later. At your organization, at Brigade, how are you ensuring that all the stakeholders do it full-heartedly, if I may ask?
Uh, it's a bit challenging at the moment. Once we have a right leader with a good vision for the organization, then definitely everything falls into place. So that's what we have in our brigade. Our chairman, our MD is very much interested about the sustainability since it is not only the interest right now, there is also a regulatory push and investor the fraternity push for the sustainability. So keeping that in mind, the company is putting a lot of efforts to upbring the sustainability efforts in the company to involve more and more employees across the organization. And we also trying to link the sustainability and ESG elements into the everybody's KPA, particularly for functional aids KPIs. And also, we are thinking about incentivizing for any better achievement what they come across in their work areas to to support and to motivate the people to do more in sustainability fund. So in this way, the brigade is doing pretty good, and we have set a lot of ambitious target for the brigade to achieve in coming years. So we are right now working on the strategies on all the ambitious targets what we have set. For example, we have taken a target of achieving net zero, being to be net zero by 2045, and to go for a RE100 by 2040, and to be water positive by 2030. Like that, a big ambitious targets has been taken, and it has been already published. We have also signed the SBTi commitment letter, and we are working on the strategy. It is a more of engagement and the motivational aspect what we look into as an organization across the organization as well as value chain.
Thank you. I'm now going to talk about ROI, and I just want to share a personal example that actually happened with me. Again, it's very B2C, but it did. So I think last winter, I'm staying in Delhi, one of my geysers had to be changed. So I called the complex electrician. We had 900 plus apartments and said, we are solar laga do. It's time that we start. I've been doing different things, carpooling, all of it. And he said, नहीं भैया बहुत बहुत महंगा है and stuff like that. And he said, उस पे कोई return अभी नहीं आएगा. You just wait for some time. More geysers will come in the market. Prices will fall. He had a valid point on ROI. He convinced me not to do it. Now, EV also is something that I'm still not ready to buy an EV. because I don't find the return, it's far more expensive. Likewise with hybrid. Uh, Delhi, when we did this panel, one of the speakers refused to come because the panel was called ROI on sustainability. Okay, the other speakers, now this is in public domain because we published, actually gave me in return figures on stage. What do you all feel? Is it time to measure ROI on sustainability? Do you have any, figures that you could kind of share on how you'll have saved, or is it going to continue to be investment right now to save the planet for a longer term? Because people look at quick returns, like my friend said, no, don't think about the planet here. It's not your problem.
Uh, it's a good question. Sustainability being a buzzword buzzing across for a while, we got to manage the bottom line as well. So we need to see where the financials are, and are we really in a right direction investing for the sustainability? Are we getting returns also? But the time right now is what personally I feel that it's not a right time for us to look for a ROA workout, because at Brigade, even though we have been doing lot of efforts from the compliance perspective to begin with, so post pandemic, the sustainability and ESG has got a lot of push from all the vertical. So, right, we are in the stage of putting our efforts in a right way, in a right direction, with the right state of mind. Maybe down the line, 3, 4 years, we can look for some return on investment on whatever the investment we are doing today.
Wonderful. I appreciate the honest answer. I get a lot of dodgy answers on this. Okay. Sir, आप बताइए.
Yeah, yeah. I feel it is necessary to understand, and most of the CFOs, finance guys are here, and definitely any project proposal, any organization want to do it, whether it is your buyer requirement or your internal requirement, there has to be some case study or something project analysis has to be there. So I would, rate it is in two ways: it's a direct ROI and indirect ROI. So what is important for the in terms of financial terms is a direct ROI. What you invested today are how we are going to get the returns over the years. Sometimes, yes, it takes more time. But if it takes more time, so is it really to do it? But what the most of the companies and most of the CEOs do forget to understand indirect ROI. What are those indirect ROI? And that are the much sometimes much more bigger than the direct ROI. Take example of Shahi Exports. We have almost more than 100,000 employees, and almost 70% are the women workers. We have to ensure that while doing some kind of initiatives, how we can engage our labor force, and at the same time we do take care of the planet also, because it's quite involved not only with selling the product, but what the product going around the globe and what are the policies in that particular region. If something happen in the particular one region and this particular regulation comes, definitely they will ensure where the product originate and how the compliance been, while doing this product manufacturing, what are the compliances being understood or taken care while producing the product. So these things are very, very important. Having said on particularly topic on indirect, I have mentioned in my earlier discussion, particularly if you talk about indirect, your the company reputation, brand value, and then retention of employee. If we all together will help to gain a lot, you will create that atmosphere which sometime which will boost your revenue. You will intact your customer, and year on year. I mean, in fact, to tell you example of the COVID happened, most of the organizations shut down. Particularly take example of garment industries running through the huge crisis. Fortunately, we have not faced that much of it. Because of our reputation and all the brand images created over the years, we have got supporting hand from the government. Government asks, can we make Shai can make some PPEs for us? Is an immediate requirement for us.
and then the environment what we created. It's just all the workforce was with us, and at the same time company was with with the company. So we need to be ready for the future calamities. What is going to happen if today we are investing in the sustainabilities? Tomorrow return will be like a huge. That's what my say on the return on investment.
You know, there were some questions shared with you. You seem to have answered them in different ways. So I'm going to ask you this last question. Okay. And obviously, I would imagine you all sitting on this side, of the stage would be not because your job, your function, your KRA, your KPIs are all around sustainability. You will be a lot more passionate, okay, than several of us. What is your advice to friends and colleagues here on sustainability? Some of them have undertaken a journey, some of them are just about starting, some of them are planning to start. But what's the best way to get started and make, do successful sustainability, some processes, some practices?
That is a need for the time actually. To give my inputs on how to start the sustainability, it has to be the mindset. First, as an individual, we should start adopting the sustainability measures in our day-to-day life. When it comes to our organization, we need to see where we want to be down the line 10 years with respect to my operational impact on surrounding, be it on environment, social. So we got to estimate where we stand today, what are our the significant aspects which are influencing to the outside the world, and how we want to be in reducing those impacts and creating a positive the influence across the society. So keeping that mind, I would like to say one thing that we should see where we stand, and we should have a right target of achievement what we wish to be on down the line. Then we have to strategically put our process and practices in place to achieve that goals what we have intended to be down the line. That's what the right way of doing the things. Without knowing where we stand today, we will not be able to set our targets. First, we know we should see where we stand. Then we can work out on the strategies to what we need to achieve, keeping compliance in perspective, keeping the expectations from the investor fraternity and the social aspects, what people are really looking for, what our customers are looking. So keeping all these in mind, we can set a strategy, a process, protocols in place to achieve those things.
What's your advice?
Just a simple question to all of you. Are you comfortable here? Are you feeling like a little bit chill, or are you comfortable? Are you all? Okay. So it's just like a few of the conferences we go is like the chilled the inside temperature which goes to the below 18 to have the more comfort level. But to tell you, frankly, if we like a comfort zone of temperature is around 22 degrees Celsius, and if we like make it, just why I'm saying it that is not related to this, because we have got ACs at office, at house. If you 1 degree itself we increase the temperature from say 18 to 22 to 4, 1 degree is equivalent to 6% of your electricity bill you can reduce it. So sustainability start with your own, from your own. You need to take initiatives, starting from getting up from the bed. You go to have a brush, how much water you are using, how is that water tap is open while brushing your teeth. It's not up to limited how your kids are doing it, how others are doing it. Each and every step of you get up, you go, to office where you commute. It's like everywhere. You are definitely doing a sustainability, but is that been not noticed or they are not aware of? So is that only communication? What you are doing, communicate with others. What are the best thing, and then get spread across. So not to depend on the rules being given by government. Oh, it is the job of municipal corporation. It is the job of state government, and then the country to do it for us. We have also a lot to do on a sustainability, and then that's what it start with you, and then we have the right to ask government. Yes, they should do on their part. So my today just advice is that sustainability start within yourself first, and then it get reflect to others.
Thank you. I'll just end by there was one more thing I heard about a couple of weeks ago at the same event. No, actually before the event, my art director told me that he was reading that the planet, the form that we see right now, took 4 billion years to develop. Okay, and the last 100 have been the most destructive. And then the same day I read somewhere that the next 50, 60 years are going to be very telling. So it's up to each of us to kind of make the difference. And the more I speak to people who understand sustainability, they say very scary things of what could happen if each of us don't take action after 50, 60 years. So let's hope all of us do the right thing and are able to influence the rest of the world to do the right thing. I've saved 4 minutes. Will someone be coming to give them? Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.